She's coming up.
Here I am.
Hey,
There
almost.
she is.
There she is.
There's that voice. Look at you.
Oh, look at that professional.
What is that backgroround?
Yeah, the professional setup.
It's just in there.
Look at you, camera ready too.
Am I?
You look camera ready. You look good.
Yeah.
I'm doing some meetings. How long have you guys been doing this? Jeff, I never knew.
I just started. I just got onto the team about like 2 months ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony's been doing this for a minute.
I started this thing in like 2018, but we didn't promote it or anything. It was just with me and my buddy Rags. And I was sick for a while, so I needed to do something creative. So I was like, all right, I love talking to people, and I love, finding out how they came up, because you don't get that much time to talk to people on set about that stuff,
Very true.
And I think it's just, it's amazing to learn from everybody, from backstories, and everybody has a different journey and a different path. And so I started to do that. And then, then when I started, being able to go back to work, it kind of just fizzled out. We didn't do it that much. And then, back to the same situation. So that I started up again, and then Jeff came on and a couple other people.
But I mean, it'd be like a conversation. It's not so much, a strict interview. We're just going to talk and hear what you got to
let's
say.
Hang out.
Yeah, let's hang out. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. You want to get started? You want to get into it?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We are with Rajah Ahmed, correct?
You pronounce. Jeff gave you a heads up how to pronounce my name.
Actually, he did not. That was just all,
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay.
All right. VP of Current and Alternative Content. That's exciting. And I definitely want to talk about that and, what your role is and all that stuff, because that's interesting and something that, people haven't really delved into or dived into or,
Yeah.
In the industry since 2008. A long time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know. Time gets by with me. I have no clue when I started. All that stuff.
What year is it? I don't know. We age so much doing this job. I don't know. 2008. Yes, let's stick with that.
Yeah, and reading, it's like when you pride yourself on mentoring others. That's awesome, because we love that over here. But yeah, go ahead and just know some stuff about you.
Yeah.
Tell us everything.
Where do I start?
Wherever you want to.
Okay, how I got in the business. So I have to take it all the way back. So from San Diego, moved to LA. Wasn't in the business in LA. That's the crazy part. Moved to Atlanta. My friend was in the business, and I was like, why is she? She's always traveling. She's always doing these amazing things. And then she got me in the business. And I was like, oh, she works a lot. That's why she's always traveling when she's off. So I started my first production job was live events. So I did live events. I did like music awards, Soul Train Awards, VMA Awards, all those things. And
you did Soul Train Awards?
Yeah, I did.
That's awesome.
And they threw me in transportation, logistics, transportation. And no one told me that I had booked cars. So I was running the department, and I never would book the cars. I would get them to the event, like for rehearsals, and I would not make the appointment. I would not book the car back to the hotel.
And this is for talent?
Yes, of course.
That's funny, because I actually worked on award shows in talent as well in LA. And
really,
that's crazy. We probably crossed paths.
We had to.
I mean, this was like over, 15. It was like 15 years ago or so.
Yeah, that was my first job. I started in advertising and marketing. I was like, I can do this. I mean, but no one, like you said, I'm glad that we're having these conversations. No one teaches you how to do these things. They just say, do it.
Yeah.
There's nobody watching you until you mess up.
It's true.
So you weren't even a PA or a trainee. They just gave you the department. I mean, that's some good like marketing for yourself. In that
department. No, then I did reality. Please believe I was a PA. Yes. No, I was the PA in that department, but there was no one to help. These award shows, there's not enough people to do these jobs. They're like, oh, tell her to do it. Yeah. So I started with that. And then I got better. And when I did the VMAs and the all those award shows. VMA. I did the VMAs a couple times, and then I did a cruise, Tom Joyner cruise. You probably never heard of it,
Nope.
but Tom Joyner was a radio DJ, radio disc jockey. That's what they call him. Older gentleman, and he would have concerts on boats. So all the talent would get on the boat, and then they have to get off the boat when they were done. They were like major concerts. It was a big thing, but it was me meeting them in like Jamaica, getting them in the van, getting them on the boat, and then making sure they're at the right place for their concerts.
How'd you feel when you didn't book those return trips, that first job?
Like an idiot. I was like, oh, I thought someone else was going to do it. I'm like, I'm just someone else.
But you handled it.
Yeah, I just handled it. I just did it real quick.
You survived.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's funny.
So you were in awards for a while, and then
I was in awards for a while, and then I went to casting commercials, and I went into casting. That was much easier for me. So I am a people person. So I went into casting, and then my first reality show was a PA. I did a lot of Delta commercials. So I was always like at the airport doing commercials with castings. And then I did, as my first PA job, I was the EP's PA, which was the setup because no one liked her. So
like
you just got thrown into it. They were like, "Hey, you do it, you people person. See if you can help this
see if you can people
out.
person this person."
I was like, "Why is no one talking to me? They don't like the EP, and I am her PA." But yeah. Fast forward later, we worked together when I was a supervising producer, and she was the showrunner. So that was good.
Oh, nice. You got along from there? It's like,
we kept in contact.
Good.
She's a people person.
Yeah.
She people personed her.
Yeah, I did. I absolutely did not know what I was doing. Oh, okay. So my first PA job, I got thrown into. I'm always getting thrown into something. And this was before GPS. Well, it was GPS, but you kind of like needed to print out
like MapQuest.
MapQuest.
Yeah, it was MapQuest. It was, yes, it was not on the phones. It was MapQuest. And so no one told me how to get to the next location. They were like, they just said, "Oh, we'll hurry up and send it to you. We'll text you how to get there." And I was kind of new to Atlanta, I think. Oh yeah, I wasn't driving around like that. So I have it in my ear, but I'm waiting. I got lost on my first day, like every PA does, with the EP in the car. And she finally said, "You don't know where you're going." I was like, "No, can you tell me?" And then that's how we...
Me out another MapQuest.
Was she cool about it?
She was cool because I'm like, I started today. No one gave me the address. So here we are.
I feel like that's good too, is when, people need to like actually mentor a little bit more. That's like a reoccurring event that happens. It's like everyone just gets thrown into something.
Yep.
And it's like, just sit me down for 10 minutes and just what to do. And I feel like a lot of PAs just get thrown into something and they're like, what the hell am I doing?
Right.
We've all been there, I think.
And that's all it takes is 10 minutes just to be like, right, this is what you got to do. This is your job for today.
That's it.
Right.
And that's really why I'm big on mentoring, because it's not fair. You learn on the job, but then you have to have a person above you who's willing to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
Or okay to teach you, because most people are nervous. Like, I don't want you to take my job. I don't care. I just want you to do better than you were when you started.
Yeah. That's a great outlook. I love that. Yeah.
So you survived, and you got to the venue, but you got to the location, but then what was the next step after that?
I think the next step, I was a PA, so you just sit and wait. And so I got all my information together. I was like, where am I going next? I jumped ahead of the game.
Yeah, you started thinking ahead. Mm-hmm. Critical thinking. Can't teach that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did you want to do originally?
And when I got into the business, I was in production management. And then I became, after a PA, I told my production manager, never make me PA again, put me on something else. And so
you asked for promotion, basically.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, you want to hire me? I'm not doing it. I'm doing something else. So then they put me on locations. And I was so proud of myself. I was in New Orleans because I wasn't getting lost anymore. I was in New Orleans. I was locking all these locations, and I was like sending my responses like, I like this, I like this. Forgot to turn off the car when I was doing that because I was just like in the car for a long time. Ran out of gas. So could somebody come give me some gas? So I
wow.
Yeah.
Well, we've all done something like that though, but I don't know, run out of gas.
I was still proud of myself.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody had to come with like a canister of gas to like fill you up, but you got your locations down.
Look, I got the location down. I just didn't have gas.
Do you think doing all of these different jobs that you've like just got thrown into, do you think it helps like being a VP right now? Like just knowing kind of all the different areas?
Definitely, because I think, and I'll tell you how I got this position. Jeff, I didn't even tell you.
No, you didn't tell me how. Yeah, but you said you got it. And I was like, congrats. Like,
I know. So yes, I do feel like this has helped me because I've done every position known to man and didn't have a problem doing it. There's a lot of people in this position who's never been in the field, who cannot even speak to, like when we're developing these shows, I'm going to say, well, that's not realistic because I know how the person is going to feel who has to pull this off. Or even overseeing the shows, and when there's issues, I've been in that same seat. So I'll know, I know how to handle it. So I think it's very important that people in this position have been in the field, and that's not a lot of people who are in this position.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, so like the people that you're encountering and the people in those positions and stuff like that, they don't have any field experience.
A lot of them don't.
Got it.
So you have up into like field producer level, if that.
Sure. So it benefits it that you've gone through it. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think that there are not a lot of people who do?
I think because the route you take, it's like the route you take in the field, you get paid for your inconvenience. You get paid. You know, you get paid for never being home. I was like, my mentor always taught me, make them pay for your inconvenience. You're not in your home, you know, you get paid a lot. So I think once you go a certain route and you get to the certain level, it is difficult to go to get out of the field because it is an addiction. It was an addiction for me. It was a traumatic experience, addiction. Jeff, you know this. We
go through together
on your shoulder, probably crying all the time.
I miss that shoulder leaning on you. Yeah.
Yes, you know this. And so when you get out of it, you're like, things move too slow. You have to, I've been in this position for 3 months now. And my first month, I was like, why am I need to conquer something, go to the next thing. It's not that way. It's not that way. It's like you are developing things. It takes time. You know, you got to, think of things and get this person and get this person. So what was the question? I forgot.
So basically it's been an adjustment to go from the pace of being in the field to.
So I think when you're in the field, we're used to run and gun and all that stuff. It's exciting. It's an
adventure.
Yeah, it's an adventure. But once you stop, you realize, how am I 5 years older? I forgot how old I was when I sat back down because it's been so long I've been in the field. Because I was 100% traveling. I was never home. So it's a blessing because now I have a routine. Now I also love what I did, but I was also tired of it also. No, it's a blessing.
For reference's sake, like how long were you like technically like in the field, for part of your career?
From probably 5 years. 5 years.
So 5 years.
I've always
nonstop.
Been in the field, but traveling nonstop, 5 years.
Gotcha. So then afterwards, you just kind of like wanted to make a little bit of a change. You manifested that change, and now you're.
I took 3 months off of work, and I said I have to change. I still want to do what I do, but I don't want to get this apartment out here, live here. This. Your personal life falls apart when you're doing all these things. And so I just wanted to do something different, but the same. And then I got a call. And then we negotiated for like 7 months. And then it just happened.
Nice. What was your manifestation process?
Right. So don't work. Don't accept a job. Go on trips.
Live life.
Clear your mind.
Actually have a life. That's what it was. But actually, it's like really sit down and say, what do you want to do? Do you want to get out the business? Maybe. Do you want to stay in the business, but do you want to influence? Do you want to have influence over these shows? Because I got tired of getting these shows that were not possible to make. And we were stuck with the cast that was like, these are not the people that were sold. And then you have to, make it work. So I just wanted to have influence. So I just manifested that and just prayed about it. And I traveled and had a life.
Good.
And then it came to you.
Yeah, manifestation is a big thing. It's people need to learn more about that. It's, your thoughts are powerful.
Yeah. But it is a risk because you don't make money for those 3 months, but it's okay.
Yeah. With traveling, you said you lived in Dubai for 6 months. I've been there before, and I want to see what your take is on that, on Dubai.
So I was working out there. It was beautiful for me because I'm Muslim, and I'm going to take it way left. But my dad had just passed away, and I got the job, and it was good for me to go to Dubai and be like, and like having the culture all around me. So that was beautiful. As a woman in Dubai, it's difficult. I don't know. I mean, you didn't experience because you're not a woman, but
I experienced. I'll tell you a story after you finish.
Okay. So within our hotel, there were clubs. I don't know this. I'm just happy to be here. I go to one of the clubs. I don't know how heavy the prostitution is. I had no idea. Yeah. And so guys were like, oh, hi. I was like, oh my God, that's so nice. Hi. They thought I was a prostitute. I would get propositioned all the time.
Just because you were a woman.
Because I was a woman. So I had to, without a wedding ring. That's the key. So I had to start wearing a wedding ring out there.
Yeah. When I first went out there, I got off the plane. I was by myself. And like, this was not a work trip or anything. Got off the train, I was by myself, got onto this train platform, didn't look down or anything, just like, I was living in New York. It's like you get on the train when it comes and that's it. I jump on the train and I'm sitting there, I'm just sweating because it was like 120 degrees out. I got this big backpack on and I get onto this train platform and I finally look up and I see all these women just staring at me. And then I look down the other train and I see these guys looking through the window staring at me. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. It's almost like the sea parted and this old woman comes up and just walks right up to me and starts screaming at me.
Saying what?
What is, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I have no clue what's going on. And a lady that actually spoke English comes up to me. She goes, you're on the women's section of the train. And she goes, it's like, you better get out of here soon because they're about they're about to like jump me. I was like, I had no clue.
I've never took the train. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. So I went to the guys section and I walked through the thing and everyone's just looking at me like I did something crazy. But then I get off and I see like, as I get off, I see these giant pink sections that say like women only. And that's where I walked through. So I'm stupid, but it was just,
I mean, you should.
That was my first like experience in Dubai. And I was like, where?
Oh my gosh.
That was
you're in New York. You're not paying attention to all that stuff. You're like,
right. And they should also see that
train,
you're not.
Okay, I'm going to go.
You should also see that you're not from there.
Yeah, clearly.
But yeah.
But besides all that, it is a beautiful place. It's a magical place once you get the hang of it and where you're supposed to go and not supposed to go.
Did you get a chance to go to old Dubai?
I went to Abu Dhabi and I went to, because I had to renew my passport, my visa, Sharjah. I'm not sure. I don't know where old Dubai is though.
Yeah, it's like a different section. I think of it as like
yes. Old Dubai, yes.
It's like it looks like out of Aladdin. It's like
yes.
It actually is that type of way. And then I feel like New Dubai is like the future.
Oh no, it's definitely the future. Yeah. I think old Dubai is where the souks are because I think that's where. Yes, I've seen it. Yep. Yes, and then it is definitely the future. It's the Jetsons. It's like what?
Yeah. And you were out there for how long?
6 months. It's because the person that we were filming with, they're billionaires. They don't care about filming, so they would have us waiting for like 3 weeks at a time. So we were super delayed. Yeah.
But that's great though, because it probably gave you a lot of time to just actually go experience it, you know?
It was a beautiful experience. I would not trade that for anything.
Outside of that, what other locations have you gone to that just even outside of work or anything? What's your
outside of work, Thailand. I think we talked about that, Jeff. I don't know, maybe because I know you went to Thailand recently.
Yeah.
That wasn't your first time, right?
No, that wasn't my first time, but I was for a project.
Yeah. Damn, I went to Africa, but I went for work.
What part?
I went to Cape Town and Port Elizabeth. It was amazing, but it was work. So it was like, I went to Paris, London, Amsterdam. I will go back there in a heartbeat. Why can't I remember all? Anguilla. I can't even remember all the places. That's a shame because I'm trying to separate it from work to personal.
Yeah, I was in Cape
It all counts. Well. I mean, we're lucky enough to have
Oh, I know.
Industry where we traveled and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think travel. I mean, especially getting away from like the grind of work. That's how I ended up in Cape Town. I volunteered at some schools in an after school surf program in Muizenberg. Yeah, for a month. Nice. I was 30 and I had just been working like nonstop on different shows for like a year and a half without any breaks, and I was just burnt. And I was like, you know what? I want to go on vacation. I'm gonna go by myself. And I was like, I might as well volunteer somewhere. And I met some great people from all over the world and helped out some kids at the schools and everything. And it was.
What did your family think?
I mean, yeah, I just go with whatever. Yeah, they're just
like we're crazy anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. They don't know. They don't know what's going on in my mind.
I'm still trying to prove to my parents that this is a viable occupation.
Right. They do not believe us, no matter what. They're like, what do you do again? Don't worry about it.
Right. They'll only believe it when they see a check. And they're like, okay. And then after the project's done or the gig's done, they're like, so you're unemployed. So like now,
right. That's all they care about.
You're gonna pay your rent.
When are you going to go back to work? You're like, I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
Right. I need a break.
But I'll get back on that. Yeah.
It's like I just worked 100 hours in 1 week. It's like, give me a break.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, so you mentioned before, like you had like a mentor that kind of like, you had one before, right? Which I think is great because I've never had one. I've always wanted one, stuff like that. How do you like, can you name them? Like, it's like,
yeah, of course.
Did that help? Like,
Absolutely.
help, did it take you far further because of that?
Yeah. So I'm a bully. So I make people become my mentors. I don't give them a chance to tell me no. So when I was in production management, I know this is what it is. When I was in production management, my mentor, her name is Joy Chen. She's my good friend to this day.
Oh, I've talked to her before. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
She was my mentor in production management until I realized I don't want to do this shit. Sorry, I cursed. And then I transferred over to being I quit production management. And I was like, I will do this for free. I will intern as an AP. And that's how I became an AP. I did it for free. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I would just go on set with people and just learn from them. And then like a month later, they had an AP job for me at the company. It was at
work for free, like for a month.
Yeah,
just to learn.
I didn't care.
Nice.
Just to learn. Yeah, it probably was 3 weeks because I think it probably was 3 weeks. Just luckily there was a show, but I didn't care. I didn't care. And then my mentor, once I became an AP, her name was Jen Morton, and I'm sure you guys know her. She's a DP and a producer, which I thought that was amazing because in my mind I was like, I know I wasn't going to be a DP, but I wanted to know the technical side of it. So then I didn't sound like, because, you guys always think that producers are idiots because we don't know.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. Depends on the
wanted to learn like just a little bit. I just want to get ahead and learn.
No, that's admirable. You need to at least be familiar with certain things.
Yeah. And then Leola, when she was a showrunner, I wasn't even in production management yet. And I met her and I said, you will be my mentor. She was like, I can't. I was like, you will do it. She was like, you're not a producer yet. I was like, I will be one. And so she was my mentor for years. I mean, still is. At the end of the day.
Shout out to Leola Westbrook.
Yeah.
Shout out to all these ladies.
All of them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And no wonder you guys have. So I worked with Leola Westbrook and Rajah on this last HBO show last year. Actually, a year now. Oh wow, yeah, it's April.
Yeah, it's been a year.
We were in Mexico around this time last year, so we worked all together, and that's why you guys have this great rapport now. Now I know like why there's this.
We've been knowing each other forever.
Yeah, back and forth, and I was like very entertained because I had Leola behind me and then Rajah on this side and me in front of the monitors, and there's all this banter that I absolutely miss. That makes sense now. Nice.
Yeah, I've always had a mentor. I think it's so important. So I always am a mentor to people because I was done for me.
Nice. Are you mentoring to a mentee right now? Is that right?
Not right now because I'm not on a show, but I have no problem doing like there's several people who I've mentored who still call me.
Nice.
For advice. Yeah. There are about 4 of them. So I just feel like it's my duty. Because there's so many young, talented, they still have the energy. They still want to get out there and run around. Good. Let me show you how to do it.
Right. Just think, need a little guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some inspiration, which is what we're doing this for too.
Yeah.
With all the mentors you have, not naming any names or anything, but like, do you ever look at them and like kind of, all right, well, I'm definitely going to implement this when I'm mentoring somebody or like, you know, within my job, and then other things of like, no, I'm not going to do that at all, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are certain people that are my mentors who I'm big on staying calm under pressure. We all know that it's going to be another fire. Why are we screaming? You know, not that I don't care, but if I'm calm, the team will be calm. If I'm screaming, everybody's nervous and everybody's making mistakes. So those are things that I've seen that I was like, I would never do. Because that's when you make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's why I love reflects leadership, and that's good.
Yeah.
You got to have that good leadership mentality.
Absolutely.
Calmness. I can't say that I've always been calm as a leader. You know, we've all
but
been
I mean,
where you
it's
lose.
Gonna happen. You got to go off one time.
Yep.
But every time, it's not necessary. I say you have to, you know, lay the hammer down, whatever you need to do, but you don't need to do it every time.
No.
Because then they just look at you as, oh, you're the person that's always upset.
You got to learn from, you know, those mistakes or whatever. Those bursts.
Yeah, this is one. I love working with that team, especially Rajah and Leola and stuff like that, just because everybody's kind of calm and everybody's like, we'll handle it. But yeah, I mean, there's this one time I'm just reminded because of the show that we worked on last year. Around this time in Mexico, I did kind of go off on a DP just because I was like,
you had to.
This is like not the time. Let's just get it done.
You had to.
We'll talk about it later.
And it's a trip, so we already know it's gonna. No,
we're gonna get it
out the window when it's a trip. Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. And then we all wound up dancing at a club later on that night. So
oh my God, we did, and then we almost. Yeah.
Yes, it was a very interesting adventure, but so I mean, you know, but then like you know you became a showrunner and stuff like that for a little bit and going to an co-exec and things like that, and then now you're here.
Yeah. So how did I become? Okay, so a lot of shows that I've done season 1 to like season 5. So this is just how I've been on a lot of shows for a long time.
That bodes well because that means they always want you back, right?
Yeah. Like the Chrisleys. I was on it from season 1 to season 5. I left because it was just like, okay, I did it. I mean, you know what I mean? But every time I was like, you are not using me to my capacity. I need to do this. You know, that's just what I do. And so that's how I moved up, but also I knew what I was doing.
Right. You knew that your time was up because like they weren't utilizing you anymore.
I just did it all. I mean, you somewhere for 5 seasons. You did it, you know, let somebody else try.
Yeah. Which for, you know, in fairness, like, you know, with people who do go are seasonal for, you know, like almost like permalance for like a very long running established legacy show. It's great. But sometimes, you know, for some people like us, we just need
new people,
growth, and you know, things like that, which is fun.
I felt like my name wasn't out there as it should have been because I was there so long. So I wanted to meet new people.
Yeah, you do get pigeonholed, especially when you do legacy shows, which is also fine. But like, you know, yeah, if you want to opportunities and like make sure your name is out there. Yeah, you need to kind of diversify, which I tell a lot of people.
Yeah.
But this is a far cry from the you're far cry from the dream job that you had when you were a kid, right?
Well, I'm still going to do that in my second life.
Your second life?
Yeah.
Which is what now?
Well, when I'm like 50.
That's a long time from now.
In my mind, I am a dancer. I've never taken a class. I know you are, Jeff.
Was.
Yeah, you and Jeff can go break dance somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. Jeff, do you want to teach me or not?
I will absolutely teach you online classes since you are far away now.
Okay.
Meet in the middle.
Yes.
Right.
Is there any I want to ask this question more. It's like, is there any job that you got called for and you had no clue, and it's been like a seasonal show, like that's been like season 5, and you're like, you get called for it and then you're like, I didn't even know this existed, but you ended up loving it, or loving working on it with the crew?
Yes, I knew it existed, never wanted to watch it. Wanted a better title. So left the Chrisleys, knew that it was time for me to move up. It was a show that I didn't want to be labeled doing those type of shows. It was Basketball Wives. And I didn't want to be labeled, especially as a Black woman. I didn't want to be labeled because they, Black women are called for certain shows. I didn't want to be labeled. I wanted to be labeled as a person that can do all genres, any type of show. So, but I did it. And what I learned was that these women, they were the most professional women, the cast at the time, was the most professional women. They came on time. They didn't complain. They had ideas. I know, it's weird.
It's rare.
I know. And I was like, this is so sad because they are stereotyped, for the show that they're doing, right. But they're very professional people. And I was surprised.
Yeah, that is surprising. It's
surprising.
That is the label that you see from the title of the show,
Yeah. And what they're doing is doing the best they can. They're probably making the most money they will in their whole entire lives. What else can they do? So they get caught up and do these shows. Yeah, so that's the example I would give.
Well, that's good. I mean, they can voice their opinions on whatever, getting that opportunity. So, yeah, with union for producers.
Yeah,
that's something that a lot of people talk about. And I think it's necessary. That I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. So. Any insight on why it hasn't happened yet? Or
we've tried. I think I'm in this organization. I'm going to say it around WGE, where they try, but I have no idea why the producers can't get in a union. I don't know.
Isn't there the PGA?
Yeah, but that's not you guys can have meal penalties. There's all these rules.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We don't have that because for us, work doesn't stop. Not to say that work doesn't stop for you, but we still get called. We still get this. It's like the rules of the work-life balance is not work-life balance. Everybody works hard. Don't get it twisted. But we don't have anything to say, you just worked 15 hours. We're so sorry. Here's a meal penalty. We don't have that.
Right. There's no protection.
Yeah, there's no union to call to say, I'm tired. I haven't had a day off. I don't get paid a 7th day. I don't get, we don't have that.
Is it I'm not that familiar with it and stuff like that, but I always thought that maybe the PGA would have been doing something like that, but it's not really. It's just like a
networking.
It's like a networking guild, and you have certain fringe benefits.
You can get insurance through them a little cheaper because it's through
that, but they don't fight for your rights on a set is what it is. Like we do, we have the Directors Guild or the Cinematographers Guild, and for audio and things and grips and stuff like that, they protect them by fighting for them in contracts. But I guess the PGA doesn't do. I don't know. The PGA doesn't do that, huh?
Not to my knowledge.
Got it. Interesting. That would benefit, I feel, people, especially with their mental health, especially with the producers.
Yeah. But again, everybody works hard. Everyone. Right. But yeah, that's a big one for me.
How do you think, like, if you were to, like, I mean, roughly, just like, you think that hiring more, I know there's also a running joke, you know, behind the scenes about like hiring too many producers and stuff like that. But like, you think that it would be more of like a scheduling thing? So like, take it upon yourselves to like make a break so that people could, you know, have
let me give you the best example I can give you. So I did an Amazon show. We know it's a dating show, so we know those are no sleep shows. It's just like the show, like the one you did in Thailand. I forgot the name. The girls trip.
Yeah, girls trip.
You can't miss anything, right?
Right.
So, and it's 24-hour coverage. I mean, you got the robos, but you got to have producers, right? So Amazon, I did a show with Amazon. It was the most producers I've ever had to manage. And we had, I think, 15, but you needed it. And it was still not enough because it was the hard part is to get somebody to spend the night at these houses. So Amazon, I do feel like gives you the best amount of producers, but after COVID and all the budget cuts, it's never enough.
And never enough meaning like enough manpower for
manpower.
Interesting. So how many casts
so I'm going to give you a better example. On the dating shows, you know that you have to do the scene, put them in an interview, do the scene. You always have to do a rotating interview.
Right, to get
you have to pull somebody away for that. So you got to have enough people to be on the floor. And you know, these dating shows, there's 1,000 people, 1,000 things going on. Yes, there's robos, but you still have to listen, you know, whatever. But also those shifts are like, you get one day off, but that's for everyone. But it's a 24-hour shift. So you have to have coverage enough for 24 hours. Because when they're asleep, someone has to still be there, a producer.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just curious, in your ideal world, do you think like 30 would have been better for shift?
No, because then that's a problem too, because the producers would have to all get along. 15. That's come on now, you know, behind the scenes is another problem. I think 15 is a good sweet spot for a dating show. I think for a reality show, I think you always need, example, I just did New York Housewives. We had 2 co-EPs, very important, but everybody can't afford that. You need a supervising producer because if you don't, that co-EP is a supervising producer. And then you need 2 fill producers, and then you need 2 segment producers for each team.
Right, for depending on the teams, right?
Yeah, if you have 2 teams.
Right.
So
it is just about a manpower thing to make sure that people have the right amount of shifts and the right amount of coverage, but also have enough time to get breaks and people could eat and things like that.
We don't eat. But, now that I'm on the other side, I get it. The budget,
like the one that you're in right now.
Now that I'm looking at, you know, the development of the shows until we get the budget, and then you break up the budget and see what you can afford. The budgets are getting cut, and they're like, I want it to look better than it looked last year, but you have less money. So now I see,
yeah, that's not a lot of things.
Yeah,
that's something that people aren't aware of. They're kind of aware of it, but it's easy for us on set when we're on locations to just blame the budget, blame the network, blame whatever. But yeah, there's a fight that you're doing that you're aware of now that leads to the trickles down to later on, and we're always complaining about little things and why. But yeah, that's a good perspective to have. Are you so it's good that you're in a position to implement some change eventually.
Or I could just see the better way to make it work, you know, without killing everybody, because we're nothing without any but the people in the field.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, good for you that you're in there now. Again, this perspective.
Yeah. With this job that you're doing now as a VP, how is that different, and how are you trying to implement more changes so there's more of like a life work balance, or you have the ability to do that? I
do, and I felt bad, but for the first 2 weeks I felt bad that I had a routine. I felt bad.
You felt guilty that you had a routine?
Well, yeah, because I hadn't had one in so long. I felt like, oh, I should be doing this. Oh, I should. So every morning, Jeff, you'll be proud, I work out.
Nice. Yoga?
I'm Orange Theory all day, baby.
Orange Theory. Very good.
Orange Theory. So I make sure I do that every day because working from home, you have to have movement. You have to have a routine. You have to stop and eat lunch. So it's like a 10 to 7 gig Monday through Friday because I'm working with people in LA. So it's like 10 to 7. And you're doing a lot of, from my position, I'm doing a lot of development. I inherited some things that were already in development. And I am pitching and developing shows and getting them out and meeting with a lot of networks and seeing what they have going on and their mandates and all the changes. There's a lot of layoffs that I have to hear about now. And it's like, wow. So 2 shows will be out of development and then I'll be overseeing them in the field. And in the meantime,
when you oversee them in the field, that means you'll be kind of back, but not really. That's going to be a change.
Right.
You're going to be the network person.
No, I'll be the production company.
Sorry, yeah, the production company person that comes that everybody's like, oh, the brass is here today. Everybody stand up straight. Sit up straight.
And they should. No, but then I'll have an understanding of what everyone's going through. So it wouldn't be like, why didn't you,
Those questions.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's great to have had so much experience in the field that you show up and you're not just like a deer in headlights. I've had executives show up to sets that have been like terrible sets, like one of the worst sets I've ever worked on. They're like, this is amazing. And you're like
somebody's crying over here. Somebody's
like, clearly you haven't been on too many sets before.
There's no food. There's no.
Yeah.
You'll be noticing things.
It's like people are dying over here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're dead. They've been working 3 days straight, no sleep. Yeah, no. I always wanted to be in this position where I can say, no, that's not okay. But understanding the budget and all that and explaining. What we never get in the field is an explanation.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, go.
Yeah, or why not? Why isn't this happening? Why isn't it happening? And people are going to respect you too, because they know that you've gone through it. And you're probably not asking, like semi-dumb questions. You're gonna be asking intelligent questions that you're noticing because of your experience and things like that. So that's a good position to be in.
We hope. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, I will.
Yeah. I feel like communication is key, and it's something that gets lost all the time. Like even as a department head, sometimes you'd be lost. It's like, well, just what's going on with that? These people coming in, like, let us know, and like, you just kind of have nothing going on. So it's like communication, it's just the easiest thing, but it's also the most difficult for people to get out there. And it's sometimes it only takes an email or so, or text. Hey, this is what's happening in
2 minutes to just
exactly.
tell them.
And
I will say shed media is great at that. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's women led and women understand, like we take the time. I'm not saying men don't, but when women have that touch, well, we're going to take the time to say, are you guys okay? How are you doing? Here, go get coffee on us. Anything.
That bedside manner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's great to have,
Mm-hmm.
And there's also some women that don't do that at all.
Absolutely. I'm saying shed media.
Yeah.
They have it down.
When was the last time you worked with Shed?
I just did when I did New York.
Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah, but I just love them. I did Dubai with them. I did Basketball Wives with them, and I did New York with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's next moving forward? I mean, I know this is a new thing you got going on, but you said, like you're always jumping into new things. So
yeah, the goal is to sell some shows. I will be excited about that. And then a couple of my friends, we have a nonprofit organization that we were really just heavy into it. And we just fell off because everybody's traveling. So I just need to get that back going. where we feed the homeless like around the time of Thanksgiving, Christmas. We give back for school clothes, stuff like that. Yeah, it's called 25/8 because in production we work 25/8. So it's a lot of production, like 4 of us that got together and created a nonprofit organization. So we just need to revamp it.
Do you have a website or anything?
We have an IG page. I'll give it to you. Oh, it's 25/8. Let me see. 25/8 gives.
25/8 gives. And that's in where you are. Like, or is it in like in LA? Where
it's in Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta. Nice.
Yeah.
25/8 in Atlanta. Love that.
25/8 gives.
When did you guys start that?
Where did we start it?
When did you guys start it again?
Oh, we started it right in the height of COVID. So 2 years ago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We were able, and this is what I love about the production, because we're family, all production, we can become family. We were able to raise just in our production contacts, like $20,000.
Wow.
Nice.
And it was because of our production family. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
And how did it get like distributed?
So for Thanksgiving, we were able to we fed 500 people. And when I say fed, we gave them week worth of groceries each. There's this company called Goodr, Goodr. And they do these pop-up grocery stores. And so we gave money to them to do our pop-up grocery stores. And they have the outreach for all the people to come through. It was like a drive-through. And then with that same money that we had left over, we were able to do it for Christmas, and then we were able to do it for back to school, and then we were able to do it for voter registration. So that money lasted us for a while.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I never understood with, productions, how I get it with food and everything you're doing this, but this just brought me back to a thing when I was a PA in LA, how we got second mail after a commercial, and everyone had left by the time it actually showed up. So there was like 5 people with all these big platters and everything. Right. And they're like, oh, okay, like go take what you want and then dump it in the trash. And I was like, this is all like fresh, hot food. It's like, so, I took some for me and my roommate, like, the other PAs took some stuff. Uh-huh. And then we still had 4 or 5 big platters. So I'm like, okay. They're like, no, don't go. You can't go give it
you
to
can
anybody.
Get in trouble.
Yeah, you can get in trouble.
Yeah, you can get fined. Before I was even in production, I'm not even wanting to toot my own horn, but it gets so cold in Atlanta, nothing like New York, I know. So I would take pillows and blankets to the homeless and just drop. Now, I had no business going where I was going by myself. I was going with a friend of mine. The police stopped me and told me I had to get out of there. And I was not allowed to do that. So you can't do that, and you can't give food. You can get fined.
Yeah, I went and I took those platters over to like a underpass where I would always see a bunch of homeless people. I had a small SUV. I popped the trunk and I was like, "Who wants some hot food?" And and they all just ran over to me. And one guy actually gave me a hug, and he was like, "Thank you so much. This is great. And do you have any socks?" And I was like,
yeah, socks are
I don't have any socks, but the food is good. We got utensils, all that stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. It's like, it's kind of like a weird line where why would you throw away all that stuff when people are
in need? So that's
hungry.
That company Goodr that I was talking about, they have a program with the grocery stores, because the grocery stores do the same thing. So they get it before it's the expiration and all that. And then that's how they're able to set up these. I mean, we spend money on the food. They didn't buy it, but whatever. That's how they're able to be in business, because the grocery stores do the same. They just throw that stuff away.
Yeah, a lot of groceries. It's a big food waste thing. But yeah, you can't do that here too in New York. We've done that. Like one story, like we were actually a while ago when I used to shoot New York Housewives and stuff. Bethany was on it, so she had that company Skinny Girl, and she had this event. We did a rooftop event, the usual tent pole events with all the cast and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It was a Skinny Girl sponsored thing because it was Bethany, so she had to. But there was all these chips and popcorn and puffs that say Skinny Girl on them, and like water bottles say Skinny Girl and blah blah blah. And then after the event, the tent pole was over, everybody, they all book it out of there. Everybody leaves, and they had all these chips and things like that with branded Skinny Girl on them. And they're like, if the crew wants to take some, go ahead. I'm just like, it's great, but like, let's take a whole bunch, let's bring them down to the van. And then we saw some homeless people outside, so we gave it all to that. It was winter too, so it was cold, so we just gave them all the Skinny Girl chips and things like that. And obviously we didn't want to take a picture of it, but like, it was all these homeless lined up eating Skinny Girl chips, which are very not on brand, but it was kind of like
not on brand,
but they were happy. It was, yeah, they were happy.
Yeah.
But of course we didn't want to get in trouble and stuff. That's why we didn't want any evidence. But like, yeah, we could have gotten in trouble too. Like, not even just from us, but from other people.
I just think in this business, we make so much money doing this stuff. We can, the times that we have off, we can give back.
It was all going to go in the garbage anyways. So
yeah,
might as well.
Yeah.
But that's great that you have that nonprofit that, you're trying to, you said it like, I mean, you're trying to get it off the ground, or you're trying to hold it.
No, we already, if you look on the our IG, we already did a bunch of stuff. We just have not done anything in like a year because we have been separated. But now there's no.
Well, now that you have this is also beneficial that you have this new occupation, because you do have some life that you could set aside to do it. That's great.
Because last year I wasn't home the whole year. I was in LA or New York. Yeah, so now I can do it.
Nice. Good luck on that.
Yeah, good luck on that. It's great.
So now that's going back to Tony's question, like that's what you're looking for in the future, or like that kind of like
what do I want to do in the future?
I mean, that's one of the things too, to grow that nonprofit, which is great.
Oh, definitely grow the nonprofit. I've done that all my life. It just makes me, I just think everybody should do it. But that's how I was raised, and that's my family did it. It's just in me. But I mean, develop shows that sell them, and just be a disruptor in this business, because all the shit is the same right now.
Yeah, that is the truth.
Even boring. So just trying something new and hoping that a network is willing to take the risk, because a lot of networks want to do the same thing because people are watching it. And so learning everything and just try to be a disruptor.
I feel like we were meant to talk to each other, because like I feel everything you say, like everything.
Oh, good.
Like, I'm on the same page.
Good.
Love it.
Yeah. Good. Like I was gonna say, like with Kingdom Reign, the company you're working for right now, is there any type of like specific genre, or like promote a specific thing, like
So I'm alternative content. So I do true crime. I do shows, like I'm developing a show right now. I won't say everything, but it's about transracial adoption, which is a big thing right now that we see stars do it, but we don't see, there's like everyday people. There's families who are adopting all these different cultures and raising them, because that is the new modern family. Our families are all mixed race. And so I'm working on that now. It's just like how the different families are dealing with that, because there's Black families who adopted Caucasian kids, and people call the police on them all the time. There's another family of two gay men who adopted two Black teenagers, because Black kids are the last to get adopted, are minorities. So doing something different.
No, it's great.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of drama, but Yeah,
well, I mean, everyone needs
everybody like that.
Life has a little bit of drama in it. I mean, So
how are you gonna have the resolution if you don't have the conflict? But is that kind of like your? I mean, what is your opinion? Because you're saying like a lot of things are the same. You kind of want to disrupt, and you want to make some some change and stuff like that. And you're in a great position to do that with your experience. And now where you are now, moving forward. But like, what do you think that is the thing that is not making them take risks, other than
because they want viewership? People don't want. They want what's making them money right now, because all these budget cuts and all these.
They want what's already worked, because they don't. Everyone's scared to try something new.
Yeah. Like I'm pitching a couple to HGTV. They're not your typical HGTV couple, but why can't we do that?
Right.
Yeah.
They have a little more flavor, but why are we doing the same?
I kind of want to be a fly on the wall for your pitch. I want to hear you sell. I don't think you can do it. I'm curious.
See, that's something that I'm also learning. But I just like the pitching process. But to me, I just have a conversation and just say, why? Why can't we do it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there any type of content that they would turn down immediately at the company you're there for?
The good thing about the company that I'm with, I've known the owner since I was a coordinator. We worked on a show together and he just soared. Like, his name is Carlos King. He runs, like, he has so many shows on. So he's killing it in the reality form. And the good thing about him is he is a disruptor also. So he is there to listen and he'll give opinions and maybe you should try this and maybe you should try this. And I'm learning from that, you know?
Nice.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, it all comes around because you knew him from before and, you know, your experiences.
And he had no idea I was manifesting this position. And he called me and said, the spirit, like something told him to call me.
Whatever it was hit him. So
yeah,
that works. I got to try more of that.
Well, it's humans are supposed to be telepathic in a way. So it's
true.
That manifestation sometimes, goes
the waves were out there.
Yep. It's that frequency and that vibration you got going on.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's real.
It's real.
What in the future though, like what do you kind of want to
do in the future?
No. What would you kind of want to be personally? What do you want to be known for, other than like a great dancer later on in life? But like, what and in this industry,
I'm a person that is always going to be there to help and to make you better. I always want to see everyone at their best potential. So I want to be known for someone who I don't judge. You come as you are, and when you leave, I want you to be at your best potential, whatever that is. And I can't tell you what that is, but I'm always a person that's always going to help and push you. There's 10 people that have joined Orange Theory with me who did not want to do it. And now they're just happy.
Now they love it.
Love it.
Yeah. Look at you.
It's a cult.
People got to be open and aware, it's like aware of yourself and then open to all new possibilities and from there.
And guess what? Everybody wants to be pushed. That person wanted someone to care about them enough to say, come to Orange Theory. I don't care if I have to do it for a month. Come. You just need that push.
What pushed you to like start that? Because a lot of the things it's very hard. They say and to start like a movement, so to speak. And like not only just that, but the second hardest thing is to get the first person. Because once that first person starts, then it starts a domino effect. So what for you then? Like
for me, it was persistence. First of all, I had to do it because when I came back from New York, I was like in a rut. I was like, ugh, I gained weight from working out there and not working out, and it's cold. All these excuses. So I had to do it first. And so when I did it, it was just persistence. It took a month to get the first person, but then after that, you're right. Once you get the first person,
and that goes on with like I feel. Just our occupations in our like industry and stuff like that too, especially when you as a leader and managing a team and stuff like that. Now moving forward, selling shows, all you need is that one person to get on board, and then it's all you need, and then that's the hard part is done.
And it gives me the confidence also to say, okay, I did that. I just tweak this and do this, and then tweak this and do this. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get there.
Get there. Amazing. Yeah. Wow.
Well, Rajah, aside from all the great advice you've already given, anything you want to leave off with? Some advice for people in the industry or just like life advice? Yeah. You seem like you got a lot of that.
Oh gosh.
She's wise. Rajah is wise.
No, I just talk and then something comes out. The advice for the industry is always help the next person. Help them. They're not your competition. Just help them. because it's going to make your life easier. Because do you want someone who doesn't know what they're doing on the show, or do you want somebody that you've molded to say you can walk away and feel good that they can get that scene done or whatever? So that treat everyone with respect. I talk to everyone because I want to know who's on set. I want to know, I just want to know everybody. PA's everybody. To me, it's like the PA tomorrow is going to be your boss. We all know that. And just have fun, because it's going to be stressful. It's going to be crazy. But the 5 minutes that you have, you should have fun.
Love that.
Love that.
Right?
Rajah is wise.
Oh, God.
Is there anything else that you want to get out there?
Any funny stories? Any, I'm
finally going to get a dog.
Nice.
What kind?
I'm going to get a cockapoo. I never thought I could have one, because I'm like, who's going to feed the damn thing when I got to leave? And then where's it going to go? So I'm going to get a dog. That's big.
Congrats on that life achievement.
I know, right? All right. All right, we're going to cut. And thank you for being such a beautiful guest. Love talking to you. And but yeah, hang on for a little bit though, because we'll hang out a little bit afterwards.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.